Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start chapter number 6, that is file system from the subject web frameworks. These are the contents of chapter number 6. First one is FS model, that is file system model, then files and directories, then streams, then reading and writing files, reading and writing directories, then other file operations. First, we will see with FS model, that is introduction to Node.js FS model. In this, Node FS module provides an API to interact with file system and to perform some IO operations like create file, read file, delete file, update file, etc. operations. Node FS module provides several APIs to interact with the file systems for performing some operations like we have seen creating files, reading files, deleting, update, some operations on that file. Yeah, like some node modules, for example, like npm, http, Node.js FS also comes with the basic Node.js platforms. In last lectures, in last chapters, we have seen that there are several Node.js modules are there that are we are importing using require function like HTTP, npm. Similarly, FS is also basic Node.js module. Here in this, we don't need to do anything to set up that Node.js FS module. That means we do not need to install that module separately. Okay. Then Node.js includes FS module to access physical file system. To access physical file system, Node.js includes FS module. The FS module is responsible for all the asynchronous or synchronous file operations. This FS module is responsible for all these synchronous and asynchronous operation of or file IO operations. Here Node.js FS module import. How to import that FS module? We just need to import Node FS module into our code and starting with IO operation code. Here, how to import that Node FS module? See here. Take one variable like fs is equals to use require function and inside the bracket write in double quote fs. This is the module, core module of Node.js. That is how using require function we can import this fs module. Here, this require function or require call imports Node.js fs module into cache and creates an object of type node fs module. Once it's done, we can perform any IO operation using node fs object. Once we import this fs module, we can use that methods of that fs module or we can perform any IO operation using node fs object. Let's see some common IO operations examples using that fs module. There are several operations we can perform on files using fs module like read files, create files, update files, delete files and rename files. We will see one by one. First one is reading file. For that, we can use fs.readFile method. Here you can see the syntax, how we can use this fs module for reading file. Use fs.readFile method to read the physical file asynchronously. Here you can see the syntax that how we can use that read file method from that fs module here. Here fs object dot read file. This is the method from that fs module. Read capital F, read file inside the bracket file name, then options. That means that file in which mode we want to open or read that file, then callback. These are the parameters here. Here you can see the description of parameters. Here file name. File name means full path and name of the file as a string. We can give file name as a path of that full path name of that file or directly name of that file. Then options. The options parameter can be an object or string which can include encoding and flag. There are several flags are there. We will see later on. The default encoding is UTF-8 and default flag is R, that means read mode. Then next option is callback, a function with two parameters, error and FD. This will get called when read file operation completes. Whenever that file operation completes, it will return as error if that file is not found. Either it will give a return FD when that file operation completes that read file operation. These are the parameters for read file, that is using object fs dot read file and parameters file name with the flag and the callback. Then you can see the example here. The following example demonstrate reading existing file. Here one file is there, test file.txt. We have to read this file. For that, this is the sample code. Take one variable fs, where fs is equals to require inside the bracket fs module. Then use read file method of that fs. fs.read file, give the file name here in single quote, give the file name with the extension comma, then write one function for the callback, that error comma data. It will give, or it will throw error if it is not able to read, or it will print that content of that file using that data. This is the callback. Here this is the callback. Okay, then inside that function, if error, then throw that error. Otherwise, console.log data, it will print the data from that file. That means it will read that file. Here you can see this example. It reads the test file.txt file asynchronously and executes callback function. This is the callback function. When read operation completes, this read operation either throws an error, either it will throw an error or completes successfully. The error parameter here, it contains the error information. If is there any error, the data parameter, here you can see the data parameter contains the content of that specified file. Content of that specified file. This is how we can read the file using read file method from that fs module. Here you can see that sample file. For example, that file text file we have taken in this example, this will this contain this data, like this is the test file to test fs module of node.js. How we can run this? Use that file name like node, then file name. After running this, it will give the data from that file. Okay, so here use fs dot file synchronously. How to read that synchronously? Here you can see reading file synchronously. Previously we have read this file asynchronously. For reading synchronously, use fs dot file read file synchronous. This method to read file synchronously. Yeah, this is the example how we can read this file synchronously. Similarly, take variable fs is equals to import, like import the fs module using require function. Then take another variable like data. Then use fs dot read file synchronously method. Inside that bracket, pass the parameter, that is file name, and that encoding method, that is UTF-8. Default encoding method is UTF-8, and print the data from that file. Previously, asynchronously, we have taken one function, it will return the error. If it is there any error, or if it is complete successfully, then it will print the data. But in synchronously, we are directly passing parameter as file name and encoding technique. Okay. Then second one is writing file. For writing file, use fs.write file method. Use fs.write file method to write data to a file. If file already exists, then it overwrites the existing content. Otherwise, it creates a new file and writes data into it. If that file is already present, it will overwrite the data into that file. Otherwise, it will create a new file if it is not present and write the data into it. For that, we are going to use fs.writeFile method. This is the signature or the syntax for that method, that is fs.writeFile, and these are the parameters, that is file name, then data to be written here with the options and the callback function. Here these are the parameters for that write file method. First parameter is file name. That file name may be the full path and the name of the file as a string. Then data, the content to be written in the file. As I said, that content to be written in that file, we are going to mention here as a data. Then options include, that is, these are the flags. Flags we are going to set. The default flag is, I said that The default flag is R, that is read, and that callback function is a function with two parameters, error and empty. Okay, this is the syntax for writing file. Yeah, this is the example for that writing file. Create a new file called test.txt and writes hello world into it asynchronously. How to create and write file? Consider that the file is not present. We are going to create that file and write the data into that file. Okay, so first we will take that variable fs equals to require. We are going to import that fs module using require function. Then see here, fs.write file. We are going to write the content into which file? Here, test.file. This is the file name, and this is the data. Data to be written in that file. Which file? Test.txt. This is the data to be written here. Hello world, and the function error. If is there any error, here you will see if error, it will show that error. Else, it will give a message like within console.log that write operation complete. Here you can see this is a simple way we can write the data into the file. In the same way, we can use append file method to append the data to the existing file. If that file is already available, then we can write the content or we can append the content into that file. How we can append the content into that file? Here you can see. Here you can see this is the example of appending content into the file. Import that file like where fs is equals to require. We are going to import that fs module here. Then fs dot append file. Here append file for appending the contents. This is the file name and data. Similar here, the difference between the writing file and appending file is only that function name. Here all other operations are same. Okay, so that's it for today's session. We will stop here. We have seen that what is fs model. Then we have seen how to import that fs module. Then the some different operations, IO operations using that fs module. Then we have seen how to read the file, syntax for that, an example for that reading file synchronously and asynchronously. Then we have seen writing file, syntax for writing file, and appending file synchronously and asynchronously. Okay, that's it for today's session. We will stop here. Thank you.